Hey YouTubers, how you doing? It is yours truly, back to post another video, kind of getting back to the request things. And on this one here, I've had a number of requests asking about doing a tour of my music room. So I thought, that'd be kind of cool to do. I know I've put up a number of videos, but sometimes it, kind of forgets I never actually done a real tour of my room. So that's what I'm going to do today. Also got a number of questions about like how do I have my music room organized. So I'm going to kind of go into that as well, of the things I do to kind of keep it organized the way I like it. I've tried shooting this one or two times and it tends to run over, so it's going to be a two-part video, and this is part one. Alright, so of course you've seen this stack in the background of my vinyl videos. And let me just say one thing about this before I even get into the specifics of how it's organized. One thing that I do specifically for each album, let me get one here that might have a couple good. Like for example, when you pull out an album, I have these little tags on the back of every single album, and what I put on that tag is I have side 1 and side 2, and I'll write down the tracks that I think are the good tracks on the album. The ones that are really kind of, stand out type of songs, I'll circle that number. And then I also put the year of the album and the amount that was paid for it. So that's one of the organizational pieces that I do as far as my vinyl is concerned. So once again, call me anal, but it is something kind of fun to do, really. And so each time I get a new album, I never put it into the stack until, number one, I put it in my database, and number two, I go through it and listen to the songs and put what the good songs are and which ones aren't. Now, with that being said, as far as a more general organization goes, I have my collection set up to where this right here is punk and hardcore. That's what that section is. Then we go into classic rock, which is all the way over to here. Then we go into hard rock, which is this section here. Then this is 60s, going into 70s, A through L, 70s M through Z, which ends over here. And then right here we have 80s A through L, going into, ends here, and then 80s M through Z. Then we have 80s guitar rock, ladies of the 80s, all the female groups coming up through here. And then right here we start the 90s and 2000s, which is all up through here. And then this is where the R&B kicks in. So we go back to 60s and 70s R&B, then up to 80s R&B ladies of the 80s, and then starts with the 90s, 2000s R&B, up through here. And then rap and hip-hop starts in this section here, goes into blues, which is up this section here. And then we got a little, I can't see on the side there, country and compilations kind of right through here. And then easy listening, and the rest of this is basically world and then jazz all through this section here. So that's kind of how that stack is organized. Oh, and of course we got the stack up here, which is the grunge and 80s alternative, all that good stuff. And then this is a really cool thing too. I know I showed this once, but actually let me set this down for 1 second so I can pull this down and show it. Okay, so I think I've shown this case before, but I've kind of decorated it up a little bit with a few more stickers I've added to it, which I think makes it look kind of neat. But this is just a case that my wife and I refer to as the black box. And it's just a nice, really strong metal case that I keep some of my more prized possessions in, the things I want to protect a little more, which is basically any of my albums that, I feel are, maybe worth $100 or more. I try to keep inside of this case just for a little extra protection, and kind of a cool thing to have too. Kind of cool looking. So let me set this down on the floor here. Actually, I'll put it back up where it goes, which is right up there. Okay, and then continuing on with vinyl, we have this other crate down here, comedy, dance and techno, not a genre I like a ton of, but some stuff in there like Stylophonic and New Order and a few other groups I really like. And then pretty much the rest of this back behind there is all soundtracks. Little section back over here, this bit, which is my covers, basically band covers or cover art. I keep those kind of in their own little section of, different albums where I have covers that are banned and all that good stuff. And finishing out the vinyl, have this stack over here. This is all metal. That's what that is right there. You have just metal category and then hair and glam metal there. So that's what that section is. So that's my vinyl. Oh well, can't forget 45s right over here. Only have about 450 45, so that part of my collection is not huge yet. And then over here, tape collection, which I've shown a couple of times. Only bad thing about the way my tape collection is set up is that with these little slots, you can't put things in alphabetical order because, of course, if you buy one tape, you have to move them all. But I'm actually in the process of working with a carpenter who's going to try to build some type of unit for me where I can, organize these a little better. But right now, I just have them set up in regular musical categories. So we have, and I'm trying to do this by pointing my finger from a distance, hip-hop, rap throughout here. Ladies R&B starts right there, works its way down here. Then you go in the 90s and 2000s up through here, which is everything from Matchbox 20 to the Black Crowes, the Offspring, Social Distortion, Depeche Mode, Jane's Addiction, Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins. So a lot of good stuff there, which kind of continues up through the third row here. And then down at the bottom here, it kicks in with the ladies of the 90s and 2000s. Liz Phair, Black Box, Concrete Blonde, Tori Amos, kind of right up through here. Tori Amos, PJ Harvey, Fiona Apple, stuff like that. And then really starting from here, all of these are Bruce Springsteen cassettes right there. But it kind of goes into just all 80s throughout the rest of these sections here. And then this is ladies of the 80s over here. Down here, you have a mixture of metal, kind of metal, hard rock, and then over into classic rock. So over here, you're talking about your Manowar, Iron Maiden, Testament, White Zombie, Scorpions, going into Kiss, White Snake. And then I say your classic rock over here, your Aerosmith, Rolling Stones, Zeppelin, Eagles, Rush, The Doors, The Beatles, Boston, and stuff like that. So that's kind of my tape collection there. Then over here, R&B tapes. And over here, a lot of different things too. Soundtracks, 60s, jazz, world, all that good stuff out in there. Then last but not least, CD section. Kind of the same type of format, all alphabetized. 60s, 70s, 80s, ladies of the 80s, 90s, ladies of the 90s, 2000s, ladies of the 2000s, ends there and goes over here, then goes further into blues, R&B, 60s, 70s R&B, 90s R&B, soundtracks, and all that good stuff there. And then right up here is where I keep most of my metal and hard rock. So you got metal throughout here, and you got hair metal, hard rock, hard alternative, and then a little bit of punk at the end. So that's more of my heavier stuff right up there. And you have another CD rack over here, and this holds about, I think, 100 or something like that. And this is basically all my jazz and world music. That's what's over here. And then, of course, going back to the tapes, you guys have seen these boxes I've shown a number of times in my other collections. And then I do have some 8-tracks over here, one little spinning case. Don't have a lot of room to really put out the rest, so they're all in the closet right now. So that's a quick tour as far as all my actual music pieces go. Go ahead and click over to part 2, and I'll be showing kind of how I have my database organized, as well as some of the equipment that I use, and kind of the rest of my music room. All right, part 2 coming up.